Hey friends, Dave Burkus, and welcome back to the Daily Burk. Today we are talking about how to give constructive criticism. Now this is something we've talked about on the Daily Burk before. Mostly we talked about how much I loathe the compliment sandwich. If you want to watch that, we'll link it below or up here. We'll put a link to it somewhere. But today I'm going to give you the same tool, right? Because truthfully, what I didn't do in that video was underscore how important being able to give constructive feedback is, right? You cannot be an effective manager. You can't even really be an effective teammate. You can't be an effective partner, spouse, parent without the ability to give constructive feedback. And the problem is we so hate giving people bad news that we find all sorts of ways to avoid it or to wrap it in compliments like the sandwich and what have you. But we know we need to give it, but more importantly, we know that it needs to be given in a way that sends a message that we're not doing this to be nitpicky or mean, we're doing it to help. And the best way to do that is to pair that piece of constructive criticism with help. Now, I took this from the world of the company Pixar. Pixar does a regular session when they're making a film where they look at the film and they just shred it. They give nothing but constructive feedback. And they stole a method from improv, which is that saying yes and is better than saying no. So even when you have to give criticism, you have to add a plus. You have to add something positive. So if you have a piece of negative feedback to say to someone, you need to come to them in the spirit of plussing and say that you have a responsibility to help them by giving them a suggestion for how to overcome it, right? So it has to be, here is your piece of negative feedback. What if maybe we could, have you tried, here's what works for me. Any of these are great transitional phrases into the suggestion that you're going to use. Now here's the other thing that I did not mention in the compliment sandwich video when we were talking about plussing. Not only do you need to offer that piece of constructive criticism and then offer a plus, and again I stole this from Pixar, you need to know that the other person has the right to accept or reject your criticism, right? Which means you cannot hold a grudge if they just say thank you and move on and do something else. You definitely can't hold a grudge if multiple people are giving them different suggestions for how to overcome it and they picked someone else. Your goal is to give them that piece of feedback and then add a plus to tell them that I care so much about you and the project that I also want to help. But if they don't need your help, if they find a way to overcome it that is more true to them and how they work, that's not your problem. Your job was done when you added the plus. So two ways to give constructive feedback are really two things that need to be paired together. The first is to add a plus. Make sure you are also adding some suggestion, some tip, some way that they can improve on that thing that you just gave them feedback on. And then realize that they have the right to choose whether or not to apply it, and don't hold a grudge if they choose not to. They can accept or reject your criticism. Your job is to give it and to plus it, and then your job's done. Thanks so much for watching the Daily Burk. Leave a comment. Let me know whether or not this resonates with you. Leave me a constructive feedback if you want, but please add a plus. And while you're plussing things, make sure you click the plus on follow or subscribe, because we're posting new episodes every single weekday. The Daily Burk's goal is to really help you do your best work ever. And if you're subscribed, then we can do that better because you will get notified for new episodes that you don't want to miss. Thanks so much for watching the Daily Burk.